Okay, I think I have figured it out. Let me just check real fast the audio playback to see that it actually is working. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think I. Okay, I can. I have sound now. Okay, looks like there's a bit of latency, about 30 odd seconds, or maybe a bit more, or maybe a bit less. But either way, welcome to the live stream. This is going to be the very first live stream that we're going to be doing today. It's not going to be a particularly long live stream or anything, but I thought, you know what, this weekend is probably a great time to start making the very first live stream to get a bit into the groove, get all the settings correct, and just to take a quick look at everything so that the quality, the presets, and the upload, the bitrate, live stream, that it works out. There is no particular plan today, just a couple. I'm just going to be playing a couple of casual tanks, and yeah, no real expectations. Just let's see that we can get through this nicely. Because yeah, I haven't played World of Tanks like on a daily basis in the last, let's say, 3-4 months. I've played it only occasionally when I wanted to play World of Tanks. And the funny thing is, I wanted to play World of Tanks yesterday, but it turns out that the server was down. At least the North American server was not reachable. I think also the European server. I think it was a big wipeout. No, I think it was just the American server. And yeah, actually wanted to play World of Tanks yesterday, but I didn't. So let's see what we'll have to do. So one of the things that I wanted to work on was definitely the season pass, since I did buy the premium season pass, the first season, and I'm currently at the halfway point. 15th of June is the day where the season pass is over, and I am still kind of debating or struggling to see uh, which tank I want to unlock, and it'd be nice if it would pop up, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So let me just see if we can maneuver around. Okay, so there are several things for purchase. Now, I'm a bit confused. Where is the Kunze Panzer and the K12 PT? I thought that we'd be able to get them as well. It's a bit weird. There's only the wait, items for tokens. Okay, continue to purchasing. There's only the Char Futur at the moment, so that is a bit weird. But yes, my main goal is definitely to get one of the vehicles, either the Kunze Panzer or let me just check real fast right there. Preview vehicle. Okay, so yeah, this vehicle is quite interesting, at least what I've heard from like all the people that actually have already unlocked the vehicle to play it. And yeah, that is going to be the big target, at least for June. So I need to play quite a bit of World Tanks to be able to get it. But I'm not really sure. It's a bit weird that now we only have the opportunity to get the Bad Chat Shao Futur. Actually, now works. So right here, we have the option. Either we go for the Kunzu Panzer, which is 18 tokens. That's exactly 3 times the season pass, so 150 levels, and you actually have to buy them. So you can get the Kunze Panzer, which is obviously the most expensive choice. It's 18 tokens. Then you have the other option of getting the K91 PT. Excuse me, it wasn't the K12. The K91. This thing is not very popular with a lot of players. At least I've heard. It isn't as great as other tanks, and it still costs you about 12 points. So that's a bit weird with the points. 12 tokens that sucks because you're only going to be able to buy one tank and you're not going to be able to get the other one. And then obviously, if you don't have the Shafutu or the Object 777 version 2, you also have the opportunity to get both of these by playing the season pass. And I'm thinking about getting both of these instead of the Kunzu Panzer, but at the same time, the Kunzu Panzer is a really interesting vehicle because it obviously has the siege mode, um, or the hydro pneumatic suspension, which the STB1 has, the Stritzwagen, and that's really interesting. And I heard this tank is actually very, very cool, since it is like really good in the siege mode, I think, and really, really bad without it, at least accuracy wise. So it's an interesting vehicle, definitely. So let me check real fast. Um, yeah, that is going to be my main plan for the near future, to get this season pass up to stage 50, and then obviously go to chapter 2, get this to stage 100, and then to stage 3 and get it to 150. The thing is, just like, this costs you a lot of time. You need to spend a lot of time in world tanks. If you spend every single day in the game and you do all of the daily missions that you can get, you can make it. You can get to it faster, but still, it will just consume so much time. And I thought about just buying certain stages at a certain time, but only when I have gone as far as I have gone. But that's definitely for the future now. I think we're just gonna jump into some games. Enjoy a bit of World Tanks on a nice Saturday late afternoon, and we're going to be playing. Yeah, we're going to be playing several different tanks. I can show you guys real fast before we jump into the game. I'm currently working on the. No, sorry. Where's the Polish tech tree? Right there. I'm currently working on the CS63, so I have the CS59. Fully upgraded, really cool tank. Just made a review about this tank, CS63. I'm really interested and excited to see what the tier 10 will offer. Then on the other hand, I have unlocked the Progetto 66. I still need to buy it. And I also have just unlocked on the Chinese tech tree the T-34 2G FT, which is a super cool tank. I didn't expect the Chinese tank destroyers to be that interesting and that much fun. But I've really enjoyed the WZ-131 and the T-34 2G, and I'm working on the WZ-111. So I think, you know what, we're going to jump into those two tanks first, because I need to get those ×3 experience points and get the first win. So let's do that first. So you can see my win rate on these vehicles is actually horrendous, right? 38% and 33%. I've only played a couple of games in them, but I've seen that my team was just not, or my teams weren't doing as amazingly or as great. And I've just noticed that this guy actually doesn't even have brothers in arms in his skill set. So I think I need to reset it, or I'm going to put Yuri Gagarin as a Chinese tier 7 tank destroyer captain. No, that would be no. I can't do that. But either way, you know what? We're just going to go into a game now. Not having brothers in arms obviously is going to affect our combat effectiveness, but we can work with that, because the tank it's really a nice tank. I've enjoyed it a lot. So yeah. So you guys, if anyone is watching right now, I don't have eyes on the chat or anything. If you have any kind of issue with the stream latency or quality, just put it in the chat. Tell me about it so I can see how I can fix it for the next stream. Probably today we're going to be rolling with the settings that we have right now. The problem is I don't have a secondary screen, and my phone is basically dead right now. It doesn't have any more battery, so I'm not going to be able to jump around all the time. But hopefully Hopefully the picture quality isn't too terrible. We're still streaming at 1080p, which is basically the standard. It's a standard now, hopefully on the interweb. It's a bit difficult to get good internet still nowadays for a good price, depending on where you live. But I think live streaming has definitely exploded. So we're in a tier 8 matchup. There are 3 M44s on their team, which is going to be a big problem for anyone who's going to get lit up. We're just going to drive up here and utilize the accuracy that we have. I don't think that this tank is the most accurate one, but as a tier 7 tank destroyer, I don't feel very confident going in there and being an aggressive little tank destroyer against tier 8s and tier 9 vehicles. I thought he was going to move up further, so that was a miscalculation on my part. But either way, Cliff, it's a good map, a map that I do enjoy quite a lot. I'm waiting for this T-34-100 to make a move. We don't have anyone at the F8 area, so we're going to be the eyes. I hope that WZ has binoculars, because he can spot them if they're coming around the corner. Doesn't look like anyone is really interested in playing aggressive tanks at the moment. What we could do with this tank, since it's not the slowest one, we could be a bit of an aggressive tank destroyer that goes over to the E3 area, you know, the little mountain there, and we could put some pressure on them from the side. You know what? I don't have anything to do right here. It's a bit boring to be sitting in the back. It's also one of the reasons I don't play tank destroyers very actively, and we're going to do just that. And there's the SU-122-44 on the right hand side, but he's not going to be our problem, because I'm not going to be engaging a SU-122-44, considering I do know the rate of fire that that thing has. Okay, so we don't even need to go to that nipple or that mountain anymore, because we have just secured the middle. So what we can do right now is we can actually put some fire on these guys. So there's a SU-122. Give it a full aim time, or give it the full time to aim in fully. And there's the VK. We get spotted by the SU probably. No, not by the SU, but the VK. There's the Soma. Yeah, now we're in a bit of an awkward position, especially with artillery at this tier. It's going to be raining down on us. So what we can do here is now, as I already mentioned, we can go around the mountain. Hopefully nobody's right here. And we can just move to the back here. Okay, Super Hellcat is going to spot me. This is really awkward. This tank isn't the slowest, but it's not going to get you to this position like the fastest, so thankfully we just managed to avoid a lot of damage there. We bounced one shot. This tank doesn't have the best gun depression, but it's not horrible either. Now we can be a bit of a nuisance to this VK. He's going to spot me, obviously, because of the bush. And there's actually a VK over there as well, which nobody did spot previously, so that is really awkward that we now have a VK in the back. But if we think about it, we do have a lot of pen, 192 for the caliber at tier 7, that's not too bad. But we are definitely low HP. We've lost more than half of our HP. Okay, we need to kill this guy. somehow we didn't hit him. That one definitely went through. Somebody needs to spot him for me. If they can keep him lit, I can take him out. Ah. Not too bad. Also, the frontal armor of this thing, I mean, you know, kind of reminds me of another Chinese tank destroyer. Maybe not a tier 7, but maybe more at tier 8. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna use the double bush tactic. We track them. They actually see me because my crew is maybe not the greatest. And because I maybe was a bit too close to the bush still. Yeah, I don't think I have the best crew on this vehicle. Camo rating's also not the ideal. But we're gonna kill this Super Hellcat. And now we have a Lansen who's perma-spotting us. So let's fall back a bit. Get this cliff in the way. So he can't really do a lot to us at the moment. Yeah, I have to keep in mind that this Lansen is perma-spotting me at the moment. I have no idea what this SC-100 just did, but it looks like he moved down. This is quite a tense situation now, but I think if we play it right, we should have all the cards in our hands. We should be able to win. But obviously, there are a lot of ways to lose the game. In World of Tanks, there are a lot of ways to lose a game, especially if they have good high-tier tanks, good players. That can be a bit of a difficult thing then. Okay, so we've spotted the Stridswagen, or at least the IS-2 has. If we kill him, the IS-2 should be able to cross over. Very nice. We should be able to engage that SU-101. He is sitting back there, but at the same time we just lost our AMAX 5100 on the 1-2 line, so the VK and the Lansen C, they both don't have any real competition except for the WZ now. But I hope that the WZ doesn't play too aggressively, because if he gets knocked out, we are only tier 7 vehicles against 3 tier 8s. And 2 artillery pieces, that is certainly not something you want to go up against. So, let's see. I hope that our IS-2 can spot or actually get into a crossfire position to take on this Lansen C and the VK, but it looks like the Lansen C and the VK are not doing very well HP wise. And it also looks like that artillery can actually hit the VK. So I'm going to be repositioning my tank. I'm going to go onto the 1-2 line, because the VK is the only vehicle that's over there. He can one-shot us, but there's a bush right here. And we do have him permalit, so we can use this to our advantage. Just as I say that we have him permalit, he obviously disappears, but all is well so far. And he gets knocked out by the WZ-120, so don't need the heat shell. Although we're going up against the SC-101. Frontally a tank that I cannot really hurt without premium shells, but for standard shells, it's a bit of a tricky situation. So there is the SC-100. I've seen artillery, I saw the arty, but I want the SC-101. I don't really care about the artillery piece. Although, I mean, it would be a kill, it would be the 3rd kill. But hitting a tank destroyer is just a bit more satisfying than killing artillery. It's not my thing. So, hey the nuke, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Hopefully you have a good Saturday morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. all different time zones. So yeah, not too bad of a battle. I mean, we could have done more damage, but some of our plays were maybe a bit reckless, considering we're in a tank destroyer. But luckily for us, the opposing team was just not very capable of keeping the middle safe. We're not really interested in keeping the middle safe as well. We had one blind shot that we actually hit, and that was on... Who did we blind shot? Now I'm just a bit confused. Who did we blind shot? Was it the Super Hellcat? No way. Ah, yeah, obviously. It must have been the BK. Or I didn't really pay that much attention. Either way, we hit somebody who we didn't see. So we're going to move on over to the CS-59. The CS-59 is probably one of the funnest tier 9 medium tanks I've played in 1 or 2, 3 months. The CS-44 and the Boogie and the CS-53, they're all funny tanks to play. Actually, the CS-53 is really, really great. I still have my entire crew on this vehicle, and I still have it completely decked out. I can show you guys real fast the crew that I have on this tank. This is a great tank. It doesn't have any armor, and it's kind of ridiculous that the turret is just like really, really thin. If we look at the armor on the turret, it's like 150 millimeters thick, 160. Actually, the funny thing is it has more armor than the CS-53. Although the CS-53 obviously has a bit better angling, in my opinion, but it's thinner. Look at that. It's only 130 millimeters at the front. But still, this tank is so awesome. Same with the CS-53. I didn't expect the Polish medium tanks to be like this cool if you give them like a shot and you put on the right equipment. What is a bit awkward and a bit weird is obviously the improved aiming that I have. This circle, which gives me -5 or -5% to the aim time circle size. So basically it improves the accuracy of the tank, because this vehicle has like on like a base accuracy, it is 0.38 for a medium tank. That is horrendous. That's really, really bad. But if you put on some equipment and maybe even, premium consumables and even orders, you can make this tank really, really, really good. And you can make it quite accurate as well. It's quite fast, very mobile, very capable, a tank that is really, really capable. If you're in a situation where you need to have high DPM, where you need to have good pen, this certainly is a tank that kind of fits the role. I think, yeah, it feels like it has the rate of fire, the DPM of at least the rate of fire of the Kunzu Panzer 50T, which is like the premium tank or the reward tank that you were able to get in the first stage of the ranked seasons last year. But it has the DPM, like it has the additional alpha damage, because the alpha here is actually 390. So you're gonna have some rolls up to 480, like sometimes almost 500, maybe even 500 if you're really, really lucky. But yeah, you can make this tank work. The high explosive shells aren't too good though. You have 9 degrees of gun depression. I mean, what's not to like about a tank like this except the armor? The armor is a bit of a awkward thing with this tank, but with 9 degrees, I mean, now look at this batch at 12T. Okay, he's not going to be facing me. He's waiting for artillery support and medium tanks to be lending their rifles to him. We have a really aggressive T-44 and a 122. Both of them at least one of them just died. The awkward thing is, how do you support these guys when they push to that area? Because you almost have to push with them to be able to give them any kind of fire support, and I'm not willing to do that. Just yeah, unfortunately I missed the LT-43. Oh no, we're not going to be the G-Source target. Lucky there that we didn't concede too much damage from a G-Sword, considering his auto-loading being. So we already lost 4 tanks at the beginning of this battle, and we're getting run over here. Our Emil 2 has to be careful, and we need to back up because we're going to be pushed here on the side in just a second. And what I'm going to be doing is maybe not the most honorable thing. Don't worry, I'm not going to be completely abandoning the Emil 2. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to use these bushes to my advantage, because I know that they're actually going to be pushing the Emil from the side. And I think I can only be a help if I'm not dead, so how can I get the best angle with the best protection with the bushes? You can see the aim time, it's not perfect, obviously, as I mentioned previously. The aim time, the gun handling in the review, it's one of the big downsides of this tank, but I mean, if you're a bit closer to the enemy and you don't, you know, completely hide away the entire battle, you can make this tank work quite nicely. Unfortunately, they were just a bit better in the middle. They didn't take any real unnecessary risks right there. And it looks like we're gonna lose. The awkward thing is we are probably going to lose the vehicles over there, so the question is, what are we supposed to do now in this situation? I'm gonna help out this Emil 2. Steal a bit of HP of that target right there. And I'm gonna help this Emil 2 now. Okay, this is very awkward. No way. Yeah, we lost that Emil 2, and we somehow missed that shot. I'm not even sure how that didn't go in. But this is a unfortunate situation that we find ourselves in. Let's see if we can find a single shot of damage. Okay, we didn't. That didn't work out really well. That was not the best game that I had in this tank. The game didn't even take 5 minutes to finish. We got really unlucky there with that one bounce of the Progetto and that one hit that actually didn't go through there, or actually didn't even hit the target. But those games, well, you can't always win them all. Sometimes you gotta lose them. But still a bit weird if you think about it, and if you're playing, at least, I mean, it looks really bad considering I have like 38% win rate on this tank, and I mean it's a new tank for me. I swear I'm not that bad. I swear I'm not that horrible, but 35% now. My stats obviously aren't too amazing in this vehicle, but still. Mastery badge, I do have the mastery badge, and top damage was 5k, so still need to get used to that gun handling though, so yeah, it takes time. You need to learn, and you need to learn how to play the tanks properly, and then once you're settled, once you really like the tank and get into the groove of it, you're gonna have the results that you're looking for, right? You're gonna have that for yourself, and yeah, you just need to make it work somehow. Okay. Himmelsdorf, one artillery piece, very, very, very many medium tanks, and just a couple of heavy tanks. Now, as I mentioned, the armor on this vehicle is not very good. The rate of fire, on the other hand, is really, really nice. Its gun handling isn't the best if you consider, you know, if you consider 0.38 accuracy good. You probably are a main heavy tank player. But I think with the medium tanks, if we can take over the hill with the 9 degrees of gun depression, we can be of great support. And if we all can share our HP a little bit and, you know, be a bit social towards that, I think we can do quite well. Looks like that we just kind of abandoned the alleyway, the 8 line, but that's certainly not a space for us to go, so that's something that I would have expected the 60 TP to be going into, or at least the T110E4. It looks like the T110E4 is going over there. But still, I mean, you can keep that spot pretty safe if you sit a bit further back. Doesn't matter too much. 50 TP. TVP is over there. Both of them fighting, so... we bounced him. Okay. Looks like we have like the numbers on the hill, and we just lost our T-54 lightweight, and they have a few tanks shooting up here. Please don't park behind me, thank you. Did they actually push in there? Oh, it looks like they pushed in, so okay. If they pushed in, we have to go in as well. Oh, please, 60 TP, come on. There's so much place. So much space. Oh, actually, that one is dead. I thought that thing was still alive. We gotta keep ourselves low here. Come on, 60 TP, don't leave me hanging. We have the rate of fire to deal with this guy, but we cannot pen him. Come on, guy. We actually cannot move over here because our team was, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. That sucked so much. These, like, you know, this is one of these are the most frustrating things that I hate about World Tanks so much. We have a full HP 60 TP with us on our side. He's right with us. If we push around, our tanks already have pushed in, they have committed. We push around, we commit to that push. He is with us. He's the main heavy tank that can take hits, you know? And we, you know, share our HP pool. We can take the hill and clean up everything down below. But this 60 TP is definitely a player that is not very experienced at tier 10 and is way too concerned of his own HP. And thus, you know, in the end, it looked like he was committed to that push with me. But he pulled out in the last second. And now, obviously, I mean, since there are only like 3 tanks remaining up here, he's gonna have the HP pool. He's going to be able to engage these guys. And he's not even going to lose that much HP. He only lost about 28%. And that makes me look like, okay, that makes us, everyone, all of the medium tanks on our side, look like complete morons for, you know, supporting our team without getting the main support of our heavy tanks, and that just blows. That's something that I hate above all else. We're gonna lose this game, I can tell you guys that much. We're gonna lose this game because the 60 TP, that 60 TP is probably going to be incapable of fighting against several vehicles. He's gonna lose against this 60 TP. Our medium tanks that are still alive are not going to be able to do that much against the other vehicles. It's a close match, but I'm going to call it that we're going to lose this match. At least I think so. But you know what? I'm quite interested to see the outcome of this battle. It's really frustrating because You know, I thought at tier 10, at tier 9, that like the understanding of um, certain strategic movement or pushes that that it's like right there that people have learned it, because what can you do if the one side does commit to the push and you are over here and you're just sitting here? Obviously we're gonna get shot from below because there are a lot of tanks down there, but if you commit to the push and you clean this up, you don't have to get shot from two sides anymore. But in the end, it's really, it really sucks because the 60 TP just didn't commit. He went around, he still got his damage, he still got his damage, he still got his kills, but it didn't work. It didn't help the team at all. It didn't help a single bit. And that's exactly what annoys me to no end with this situation, because this could have been an easy win for us. We could have steamrolled that hill. We were so many tanks. But maybe this premium KPZ 50T can actually turn it around. So he just doesn't need to panic because he has a decent rate of fire. He just needs to have some distance to the 1-2-1. And he actually, oh, he got so unlucky. Okay, he got really unlucky there. That was unfortunate for the 50 KPZ 50T. He almost had it. That shotgunning already saved the day. He really saved the ass of the 1-2-1. But he almost had it. He took out the the Badger. He was full HP, and the 1-2-1 took him to, you know, completely shredded him. So yeah, it was a very frustrating. That was a very frustrating battle experience right there, because I mean, even if you are trusting your teammates, there's always that little bit of doubt that, you know, they don't see eye to eye with your kind of analysis of the situation, and that just bothers me, and it really sucks because in the end, that could have been a really easy push, very easy, you know, I don't even know, pincer movement. You encompass them completely, fully, and they cannot do anything against you. Unfortunately, there we go. Okay, don't hate me. I know this live stream is maybe a bit chaotic, and I might not be showing you the best gameplay, but I'm going to try something with the CS59 because it worked out in another tank, and that is actually to push over to the other side. Actually, nope, we're not doing that. They have already somebody in a bush right in front of me, so okay, it's not going to be happening. But we're gonna go over to this little island. What I can think of is that a Burask is in one of these bushes right here. And he's spotting everyone on our side. It looks like our Burask as well is doing the same thing. But we'll have to see what happens. So yeah, my initial plan right here was to actually push all the way over here to that little alcove over there at H1. If you're down there and there are certain bushes that you could hide in, you can put some pressure on the enemy team over here and you can have like several angles of fire at them. But that obviously only works, that really only works if you have support from your own team and if you have the eyes. Unfortunately, we don't have the eyes because this is a game that has started without any kind of light tanks. So it's a bit awkward for us because I don't have the best view range on this vehicle either, because my crew is not as experienced as other vehicles. C6. He says that C6 is the Burask. Okay, so we are currently fighting for that part over there. Team full of idiots. Okay. It looks like they're actually pushing the hill. I'm going to use this now to make a play, to be quite aggressive here. We can actually drive down here and we can make it up without getting shot. And now we have the side of the enemy team to the left, so we can actually put some pressure on them. There are also some bushes here, so these bushes we can use. We have to be careful of artillery, because artillery is not going to be enjoying that we're here. And there's a tiger too. Oh, obviously he has to push me. Okay, I'm gonna get pushed by a batch at 25 AP. The question is now, can I bounce? Can I get some assistance? I need some help, guys. Oh, he's out. He's out. He's out. Bloody hell. Like, the only thing I don't understand, the only tank that I cannot be facing over here is a Batchat 25T. A tank that has 5 shells in his drum mag. And the first thing that comes rolling around the corner is that Batchat 25T. And I really, like, what are you supposed to do? And our guard, I don't even know what our guard is doing over here. He's just committing suicide, but... like, this is like, my tank is cursed at the moment. Because it's ridiculous. Okay, maybe my push was a bit aggressive without any real form of support. It looks like everything up here is kind of dwindled down to a standstill. We do have a Type 5 Heavy who just hit an IS-7 for about 70 HP. But yeah, like, it looks like World Tanks on the weekend is comedy gold at the moment. But yeah, this is not going to be working out. This is going to be another loss, unfortunately, for us. Unless they do something. This FV... yeah, he's going to get penned by these vehicles. Yeah, he's using hash. He wants to be able to pen them. You know, you have to side scrape with this tank a little bit. Maybe if you side scrape, you wouldn't get penned as easily, but you know, it doesn't work out for you. Forget it, 54. Yeah, that's a really uncomfortable. That was a really uncomfortable situation right there. When you make a play, maybe I should communicate with my team a bit more, but I have the feeling a lot of people have turned off their chat function for various reasons, and it just didn't really go in our favor. You know, that was awkward. They immediately pushed me. They immediately counter pushed me. Like, all of a sudden, there were 4 tanks coming up. I thought the STG was going to either come to my aid, or the STG was going to be sniping these tanks with the FV. That was one of the reasons why I pushed over, because I had 2 tanks at the back. It was a bit awkward because the height difference with the bad chat, but in the end, that, you know, those 5 clips, those 5 shots, the complete clip, without having any assistance damage, even if you have good DPM, you're gonna have a bit of a hard time to go through him. And it just didn't work out in our favor. So I'd say, you know what, forget about it. That's not important. We're gonna be jumping into the T-34-3, and we're gonna go get some credits in the meantime while the CS-59 is still in battle. That was really not the greatest display of it really wasn't that good of a game, unfortunately for us. Okay. We're top tier. We have a couple of enemy tier 8s. Unfortunately, we are on a map that just doesn't help if you don't have a lot of gun depression. But we can actually go to the middle. There's going to be a defender probably in there somewhere. A defender is going to be a bit of a problem for us, especially with our standard shells. We do have a Tiger 1 and a Somo SM though. But I'm not really feeling that confident in going to the 1-2 line. Although, I mean, we have 6.5 degrees of gun depression, but with 3 artillery pieces being top tier, you're under constant enemy barrage. It's not a lot of fun, not something that I really want to do. Oh, there, Lorraine is already under pressure over there. Oh, he's out in the open, like he's really in between those little hills. And he's not going to be able to do a lot. So we spotted the one tank over there. The defender is down there. I expected the defender to be right there. We have a Yak Tiger 88 right here. That's a bit awkward. I cannot actually go through the Yak Tiger 88 with standard ammo at this, you know, with that kind of frontal armor that he has. So it's a bit awkward now. I could load heat. That's probably also what I'm going to be doing in just a second. But I don't want to be, you know, spamming heat, but I need heat to be able to contest the Yak Tiger. And just going to be using it against him. There's a CS-44 right next to us, but he's not too important right now. He's waiting for his opportunity to strike. So the Yak Tiger doesn't seem to be interested anymore, somehow. Oh, there he is. Popped up again. What we can do with the CS-44 is we can actually push this guy, go around the corner, and actually hit him. We just have to be really careful while crossing here that we don't make ourselves too much of a target. And the Somo SM just finished him off. Fortunately for us. I really want to have a piece of this AMX. I'm just going to trade with him. That trade was definitely worth it for me. And he wants some more. The thing is, there are tank destroyers waiting on the hill on their side. But I really want this guy to be killed, so let's see if I can take my chances. You know what, we're just gonna do it. Take him out. If he pushes like that, he'll have to suffer the consequences. Fortunately for us, our artillery is really interested in us. I didn't realize that there were 3 artillery pieces, but as I mentioned previously, if artillery has a shot at you, they are going to take it, and he just lit me on fire, and he did so much damage. That was really not pretty. Okay, let's see that we can... Don't worry, I got the turret armor for this. I have the turret armor. I have the upper hand, but he has the artillery support, so I need to... just need to finish him quickly. I have to pull back. Someone can take care of the rest. And now I'm just gonna hide here because this Somo SM might just get hit. So all 3 artillery pieces are on that side. Every single one of them is right there. The Yak Tiger is gonna pop around the corner anytime soon. He's not gonna be expecting me, I think. He's just gonna drive right through. That looks like he's expecting me. Okay, he's tracked. He's gonna peek. You're not gonna be able to do a lot in that position. And CDA takes him out of the game. Did you see those 3 artillery pieces that, like, I mean, that focus fire? They must have queued that one up. Like, that was like, hey, you guys interested in shooting that tier 8 over there? Like that T-34-3? He's like driving in the middle of the open. And they all took their shot. Hurt like hell. So they must have a SU-101 up there, and maybe an AT-7 as well. So I did just get lit up. I'm not gonna be going out in the open just right now. There's a ELC even 90. He can go and spot for me real fast. There we go. We spotted the SU-101. We managed to pen him, but actually that was a, you know, it was an easy shot because he was he has that little angle on his lower plate, and you can actually hit that angle pretty nicely from below. So that's one of the things that a lot of Soviet tanks have. When the lower plate and they're below, they're above you and you're below them, you can actually hit that lower plate quite easily. That's something that a lot of other Chinese medium tanks don't have. And that's 6.5 degrees of gun depression. 6.5 degrees of gun depression is really, really nice for any kind of vehicle in the game. Well, at least 6.5. I mean, for a Chinese tank, it's real nice. So okay, I have I have now grabbed my luck back, and we're gonna try it out again on the CS59 because that was a bit ridiculous. Like, those 3 games are just not something that I want to see happening on a constant basis. That's why I've taken a bit of a break from, you know, playing World Tanks on a constant kind of basis, on a daily basis, and it has really worked wonders. If you need a break, from all of the tanks and, you know, all the games and the bad teams and the bad RNG, sometimes you just need to take a step back from World Tanks and have a bit of distance. If you wait a couple of days, it will get a lot better and you're gonna have a lot more fun. At least that's what I've noticed for myself when I've played World Tanks. It's just been a lot more entertaining if there is no real pressure to, you know, to be like to be the best or to absolutely dominate everything and everyone. If you just take your time and you can look past that, I think everything is nice. The interesting thing is that my April Fool's joke, the camo for the French light tank, the wheeled one, it's actually still in the game. Like, I still have it on. So if I see that thing, okay, there's always somebody blocking your way of escape. I just don't understand it. Why do people constantly have the need to be right behind you? Got a 54. Oh, somebody just lost their turret. Somebody just lost their head. That was T-44. Our T-54 is a bit aggressive right here because there are vehicles up here that you cannot really compete against if they're hull down, so I think we need to fall back a bit, and we do not want to lose all our HP here, all our ability to actually do anything to the enemy. Looks like they have the hill for now. We can reposition. We can still turn this around. The hill doesn't mean everything on this map. It does give you really great line of sight in every kind of direction, but the hill is not the most important part. Well, I mean, it is a really important place to have, but it is not the win it all or lose it all. I think the team that controls the hill obviously has the best options, but I've had games where I lost even though we had control of the hill. And let's see if we can use our gun suppression right here. Okay, yeah, obviously I bounce off the T-54 with a standard shell on his upper plate while he's completely on even ground with me, and he manages to put one right through my turret with a premium shell right there. Yet the T-95 is still pushing. What is happening with our teams right now? What is going on? This T-50, like, it's clear that they have the hill. They have control of the hill. Why are we still contesting the hill by going up with a T-95? Why don't you just... Oh god. This is really frustrating. This is frustrating to no end because it's completely irrational and illogical for them to be doing it like that. Because they control the hill. So you have to. Yeah. Frustrating and disappointing to no end. Certainly. There's the tortoise. I don't understand how that didn't go through, but I guess the game thinks that was not a pen, it was not a pen. Yeah, artillery gets involved. That didn't go through, that didn't even hit him. Probably was a track shot or something like that. Oh, there's a 54 right behind me. He's loading full heat. Yeah, either way. Unlucky. Unfortunate. The way that we lost that hill, just, it does... I mean, okay, it was clear that we were going to lose the hill with the amount of tier 9 vehicles that they had going up that hill. It wasn't all too like unrealistic that we're going to lose the hill, because obviously they had the armor, they had both 54s or both Soviet tanks, the T-55 and the T-54, and they had the concept B, right? I think, which just is a tank that just doesn't have a turret and it just has the hull down capabilities, and it's actually also quite fast. So yeah, ranked season, I didn't really spend that much time in there, and I didn't get the tank. Certainly, I didn't. I wasn't ready to play ranked. I wasn't feeling like I would enjoy playing ranked. So unfortunately, I still haven't gotten my double or my 3 times experience for the first win, and that's something I would really like to change. So I'm gonna be playing this tank just a bit longer. And what you can see is that at tier 9 now, a lot of people are playing the reward tanks, like the Char Futur, the Kunzu Panzer, and I think the Kunzu Panzer and the Char Futur, if we're all going to be contesting Hill, it's going to be a bit of a nasty fight. It's going to be a very nasty fight, but it's a question. Are we going to... We have 9 degrees of gun depression, right? I mean, we have 9 degrees. Okay, looks like everyone is going for the hill, which... Okay, I think hill is going to be a massive fight. I just hope I'm not the one who's going to get penned by a T-49 with a high explosive shell. Oh boy. Oh, that's absolutely disgusting. Why does it need to be a track shot? How is that T-49 still alive? He survived it even, which is absolutely ridiculous. I spotted a T-30 right here. And I have to be a bit careful to get away from this part of the map so I do not get struck by artillery, because that would be really, really bad for me. Just hope that the T-49 just doesn't drive through below me. But we have the hill. Now the question is, what can we do with the hill? There's Object 268 version 4. There is still this T-49 right there. And as you can see, the T-49 has just taken care of our object, of our T-55A, because he was still lit. Because obviously the T-49 did spot him because of the proxy, because of the proximity. So it's a bit of an awkward situation so far. We do have a hunk of armor right now, though. We can push it to our to the right position. We can make this work for us. So right there, we're just going to be shooting at these tanks there. That is something you want to have in this tank, because now we have the upper hand with great rate of fire. We have all the pen in the world that we need. If we would actually improve our bloody camouflage values, we could also stay there and just keep on putting shells into them without getting spotted. But, you know, you can't have everything at once. Oh, the Kunzu Panzer just spotted me. So, right there, we need to be a bit careful. Why am I not fitting through? Please let me fit through. It's all about the Scharftours, that they actually move on up. Like this Kunzu Panzer is just, he's proxy spotting me for them, and thankfully for me, we have a very active T-49 over there, who's doing his role quite nicely. He's keeping them spotted for me. And these Scharftours, I think they're both in platoon, or they almost, I have the feeling that they are, but they're actually not in a platoon. If they move up any further, I can unleash hell on them, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do right here. I think this Kunzu Panzer, this vehicle he has had more than enough fun for right now. Can we get a shot off at him below me? He does have pretty damn good gun elevation and gun depression values, especially if he's in this weird siege mode. But I am not too bad either with 9 degrees of gun depression, right? So this is probably going to be the most important part of the game. We've controlled the middle area. We have completely destroyed a flank of theirs. It looks like they're actually putting some pressure, a lot of pressure actually, on our flank over there. And we'll have to see that we can defend that flank without overexposing everything else, you know? The question is, can we actually... Okay, we have to turn over, and we have to go to the position where the Leopard and the Object 140 are. Because we've just lost the one flank. We've lost the one flank, and we probably shouldn't be pushing. We still have 2 tank destroyers in very good positions over there, and they still have pretty good access to the middle. We should not forget about the artillery that they have. Oh my god, that Guerrilla 15 was just struck by the arty, and he lost so much HP. Why is the Guerrilla actually in the middle? Why isn't he in a bush? Why isn't he using his camouflage values? Because that just doesn't help him. Our artillery is not happy with how this game has turned out now, but you can see that they have a pretty significant high explosive. No, they have a pretty significant HP advantage right now. There is my tank. We actually set him on fire. He has a premium fire extinguisher, though. So we need to be able to kill him right there, or we're gonna get pushed on the hill in just a second. Oh, come on! Ah, another loss. How is this possible? Like, how is this going? Okay. Yeah, sorry guys. I didn't see I didn't see your comments because I was I was getting my ass handed to me in this game. At least my team was getting its ass handed to it, and we got absolutely destroyed. Although we had the control of the hill, we didn't really do a lot with the hill. I think we were quite effective on engaging the right side, but the left side was quite ineffective at how we handled that. So, sub, hello, make X, sub BM. Mines is so bad. Mines is a bit of a weird map, to be fair, because Mines is just, it's so small, right? It's such a small map for tier 10 tanks that actually should be on much larger maps to actually be able to fully use their abilities, like their maximum view range. Mines is just so small, and it's so tightly packed, everything. It's like one of those maps that is always fast action, and I think people like it because of that. But like, to be fair, Mines is not really a good map. Himmelsdorf is probably also not the best map, to be fair. But I mean, you can make it work. You can make it work, definitely. This is a tier 10 game though, so we'll have to see. Yeah, the hill, Mines and the hill are just, they're a complete, I mean, you're kind of screwed either way. If you go for the hill and if you don't go for the hill, the chances of you arriving at that hill unscathed are really slim. The chances of you surviving being on top of the hill without, you know, getting annihilated by artillery and, you know, tanks, because you're constantly trying to see how far you can go and if you can, you know, get some damage, is also very slim. Like, you die really, really quickly if you are on the hill on Mines, and, you know, it's a question of, is it really worth it? But if you have the hill and you manage to keep it secure, the entrances, and you can keep yourself hidden because nobody is able to actually proxy spot you the entire time, you can still do quite a bit of damage in either kind of direction. You just need to be really aware. Like, if you don't pay any attention on Mines and you're just out there to get the maximum amount of damage and you're on the hill, well, you're going to get wrecked in a really fast time. And that's something that happened to the T-55. The T-55 was really unlucky because he was like the first tank that was up the hill, but he was also the first tank that they were able to shoot. So I was like the last vehicle to get up the hill, but because everyone already fired their shots, I was able to go there pretty much unscathed. And by the way, as you can see, we're on Himmelsdorf, and we've just completely pushed our entire team up here. We have one object 705 over there, and we really have to push the hill. Like we cannot just stay up here and do nothing. And I should probably not get hit by any other vehicle while I'm up here. Thanks for the push. Please stop pushing me. So. Oh, damn it. My driving is like horrible. Come on, guys. Don't just sit here. We gotta push down. We have so many tanks. Like, our team just kind of abandoned this K91. I'm just gonna go for that T95. Get behind him. Do some damage right here. Actually, we didn't track him. But now we have cleared the side. We have to commit to it. If we can commit to this push now, all of us, we have pretty good chances of actually. Oh, that was... What the hell is that? Looks so weird. Oh, it's an object 705A. There's a T110E3 also looking at us, so it's pretty awkward. Didn't notice that. Okay, you know what? Commitment will get us killed here. I'm just gonna see if I can reposition myself. Our object 430 has pushed a bit too far. He might just be a bit of a target now because everyone is going to be focusing on him. But let's see if we can actually do some damage here. It's the Leo. I don't want to overexpose myself. But yeah, the initial push now. I've loaded a APCR shell just in case the object 705A comes around the corner. I think that was from the... Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, like that was an unnecessary amount of HP to lose right there. But I think what we have to do right now is we have to just be patient. If we're patient and we wait for our team to clear that E3, we're gonna get some support from behind. It's just awkward. This is just an awkward kind of game for, I think, a lot of medium tanks, if there are so many heavy tanks around. Oh boy, please don't. Oh, look at me, how lucky I was. Able to get out of that one. Also, I think I'm lagging a little bit because it's a stream, but it's all okay. I can work with that lag. I'm just waiting for the 705A to actually fire. He's, I think, either he has resignated himself to death, or he is waiting for me to push because I'm very low and I'm an easy target. But yeah, this time around, like the massive... Please don't... No, come on! You almost pushed me out. You almost pushed me out. Just because you're in a premium, like in a fucking reward tank, doesn't give you the right to push somebody out. I mean, you have so much HP. That thing has so much protection. It's not even funny anymore. Just trying to live off scraps right now. The sad thing is, this is going to be my first win in this tank today, and I've had to take a lot of beatings with my team so far. Like, the last hour is basically just us getting completely wrecked in this tank. You just can't write the script for World of Tanks. This object 279E just doesn't take a single hit of damage, which is absolutely ridiculous and just shows you basically the brokenness of this absolute tier 10 tank. Oh no. it was obvious that he was going to go for me, but I just wanted some more damage. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to hit another shell. But yes, thankfully we did get the ×3 experience, and we can put it to the category of done. We're done with this tank for at least I think right now. It was quite frustrating, especially the game on mines. That was really frustrating. Yes. It all comes down to you to if your team backs and supports you when you make your run for it. Most don't stop. The sides of mines are not balanced though. Yes, mines is not a very balanced map. That certainly is the case. I think it still is quite easy to get to the hill from the one side. The north side, which used to be like the side that took quite long. And I mean, like, there's just, that's really one of those maps where taking the position in early is like really important. And if you don't take the position early, well, you're just not going to be able, maybe you don't have the opportunity to take it again. And that's really in the end going to be the thing that's most important, that you actually are able to, well, I mean, like it's something, it's like, okay, let me collect my thoughts real fast. Like mines, if you want to go for the hill and you don't do it at the start, but you do it at later stages, like let's say, for example, like in the middle of the game, there might be certain opportunities for you to go for the hill. But I think like decisive is going to be the start of the game, that when you go to the hill and you actually capture it, that you can do something on it. But if you lose the hill afterwards, like if you lose too many people going for the hill at the start, it doesn't help you at all. Like, and then later on, I mean, if you can actually take the hill from them away, that's when it gets really interesting, because the sides are already like in battle formations, and they're already interested in going into combat, close quarter combat maybe. And then when you get on the hill, well, you can do a lot of damage. But it's a map that maybe doesn't fit World of Tanks that well anymore, at least at the higher tiers. I think that Mines maybe should be a map that only goes to a certain tier, because like all the things that you can learn about camouflage values, about well, at least gun depression you can use on that map, but like all the camouflage, the light tanks, you know, and all the vehicles that have great mobility, it's just it's a map that doesn't give you the opportunity to use those advantages to the fullest, like to use your abilities to the fullest. That's a bit, that sucks a bit. Yeah, you can spot all these tank destroyers in the back. That's anyway one of those things that I really dislike. It's just one of those things that I really dislike about World of Tanks nowadays, is like artillery is still very annoying, but what's like especially annoying for me is tank destroyers sitting at the back. TDs just, they don't have to do anything. Tank destroyers can just sit at the back all day long, and you know they can still be extremely effective and do so much damage, and then you get to them and they're still full HP. And if you don't have anyone, you know, balancing those tank destroyers by maybe lighting them up, and you've already lost your light tank previously, you're pretty much screwed. Like, these tank destroyers can just sit there, and some tank destroyers nowadays are just so good that you can't even really do anything against them. Like that shot, that was a really disgusting shot right there, that I hit the IS-2. But I take it. You know what? I take it. There's something in the way. Either way. You still play mines, or you prefer mines instead of Ensk, or like, what? Sorry. You still rather play mines than Ensk. Ensk. The thing is, I'm really bad with map names. I just know all the maps from, you know, all the points. But Ensk, I have to think about Ensk real fast. I have to check it out afterwards real quickly to be completely sure which map you actually mean. So we have, okay, let's first kill this IS-2. Okay, maybe we can kill him if we go into the ditch. That is why you let Stalin guide your shots, because then you can actually do that on the move. So I'm gonna go over and actually knock out this IS-2 because I want to be able to... There's a freaking Burask right there waiting for me, and he's going to be running. We're gonna get... Okay, we have a bit of an issue right here. That is a bit awkward now. This entire scenario is awkward. So we have to kill this guy. We have to face the CS-52 Liz. And we also have an AMX M449 that just has taken a liking to us. You know, that's so crazy that you can lose so much HP in 1 second because people like extremely focus you. Like, I was focused by 3 tanks right here now, and I mean, obviously I almost died for it, and it was really painful, but I mean, it didn't help them at all. I got 1,600 damage. They all died. I got support from my team, although it took them quite a while to get to me. We got their main scout out of the middle, although I got really lucky that he actually didn't manage to pen me. Ensk, the small map. I'll check Ensk afterwards on the on the training rooms, and I'll check the map, because Ensk, it tells me something, but I have several maps in my brain currently, and I'm not really sure if it's the right one. But like, there are certain maps like that are absolutely just unfit for certain tiers. I remember that one Italian map. Do you remember the Italian map with the that's still in the game, that actually was re-released with the 2 towns on the opposite sides of the hill, where the people actually spawned like really close to one another, and if you were at tier 10, you were just able to actually spot them from basically almost the spawn. That was one of the worst maps I've ever seen. Like, seriously, that was... But, you know, at low tiers, it's actually a lot of fun. Especially if I play like my Panzer IV, that premium little Panzer IV. I'm not entirely sure what it's called, but it's really fun to play that one on that map. Yeah, Province. Absolutely, yeah, Province, that bloody map. That's one of those maps that just didn't work at all. Yeah, the view ranges in this game, I mean, it's basically all about stats, right? These view ranges, I mean, to have the max amount of view range is only going to help you to really outspot your opponent. It's nothing about being able to see them further away, because most of the maps are just like this crazy small. They're really small that you actually don't need the max amount of view range. And I think the best part was probably in Frontlines, where they actually managed to make the maps a bit bigger. And Frontlines was, I think, quite enjoyable in that sense, that you finally had like really long alleyways of engagements, and like where it actually really counted if you had great accuracy or not. And that's why certain vehicles were just that much better in Frontlines than in other game modes. But I'm not really sure that Wargaming are ever going to be, if they're ever going to be implementing much bigger maps. But they might be introducing, what is it, T28? Let's see if I can actually help him once at least. There might be new premium, no, not premium tanks. Those will come anyhow. But there might be new top tier vehicles, such as the... Oh, there's the boss. Yeah, unlucky. He must have repositioned. I really wanted to help out that T28 HTC right there with the T28 prototype, and at the same time also wanted to be a bit greedy, but looks like the last remaining stronghold of their team is down here in the south. So all our team up here needs to do is they need to clear up the T26, they need to take care of the Rheinmetall Borsig, and if they can keep an eye out on the southern part of the map, I think they're going to be able to win this match. But maybe it's too much to ask for. Let's just see, find out. Yeah, like frontlines was great in that way that you finally had like those really long distances, and it's just a bit weird, you know, that what I really don't like is the draw distance range. That is, I think, what's the maximum draw distance where vehicles do get like rendered? I think 500 meters. Like on the small little maps, obviously, like usually it doesn't happen that you don't see the targets, but if you're playing on like on front lines and you just don't see the tank, although you know it's like right there, the minimap says it, somebody did spot him, it just doesn't make any sense. And I think it's a bit weird. Nice, the Charioteer actually did get the T20, the Rheinmetall. Yeah, Frontlines is just a massive, like it's just a massive collective of premium tanks that are wrecking their faces, and you know, EBRs and the premium tier 8 EBR that I always played that tank in Frontlines because it just, you know, I mean, it's so easy to get points. It's the fastest way how to earn like a lot of credits. It's the fastest way to get the game to end because you want to get the points as quickly as you can. And it's just, you know, it's a grind. Frontlines was always a grind. That's why I don't really enjoy Frontlines anymore. But Frontlines, the idea was actually great. It was a complete new experience, fresh, you know, fresh air, and it was just like, it looked like Wargaming finally saw that there were other things that they could do, that they could expand, how they could actually increase and improve the game in certain aspects to make it larger, to make it feel more, you know, dynamic and not just always on these little maps. But I mean, they are working on those things. I'm not really sure what kind of plans they have for the future, but I can think that we will see bigger maps, we will see bigger game modes, and I can also think of premium and modern tanks, like not premium tanks. I'm always stuck on premium vehicles just because of my mind. It's basically hard locked on any premium thing because of world tanks, but the thing is that Wargaming are currently testing out modern tanks on the console variant of the game, or they're not testing it out, they're actually releasing the patch. And that's going to be quite interesting to see how that will develop. But yeah, I understand. I really enjoy War Thunder. I enjoy the tank the realistic ground battles. Because like realistic battles on the ground, those are really cool with the tanks. You don't see the tanks. You have to, you know, well, at least you don't have any kind of notification where the tank is. You don't have hit points. The tanks need to be seen by your own eyes. You have to spot them for yourself, or somebody has to inform you. There needs to be communication. Then like the tanks behave how they historically would have behaved, or at least more accurately than in World of Tanks. And I think War Thunder is really, it's a fun game if you're like a really historically interested person, then you're gonna have a lot of fun in War Thunder. But The thing with War Thunder is that the grind is just as excruciatingly long as in World of Tanks, and also certain maps are really bad. Certain maps I really don't like, and yeah, there are quite a few things also wrong with War Thunder. It has a few issues as well with premium and all those kind of things. So no, none of the games, both of these games aren't perfect either way. They both have problems, and they both don't really benefit from certain decisions that the companies decide to yeah, decide. Grand battles. Well, I think grand battles are like, I'm not really sure about grand battles because I've played grand battles a couple of times now on like the three different maps that they have for it. I think it's a bit of a shame that it's only for tier 10. I can see why they only put it for tier 10, so like that people actually get tier 10s and like, oh look, there's a new game mode, it's only for tier 10s, it's like with 30 tanks versus 30 tanks. But like the games that I had, like with how unbalanced tier 10 is at the moment, it's just not a lot of fun. That's why I've completely kind of neglected tier 10 the last couple of months. I'm not really a fan of tier 10 and how they developed that tier. And it's just, yeah, I don't think it's a lot of fun. At least when I'm playing in my heavy tanks or my light tanks, because the maps are large, everyone is somewhere, and if the team play doesn't work on the, oh, he actually just got killed by someone over there or back here. If the team play and the teamwork doesn't work on the small maps, how are they supposed to make it work on the big maps? That's always like the thing. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just didn't have enough battles in it, but I've played like over the last 2 or 3 years. I've maybe played maximum amount of 50 grand battles because I probably just never play tier 10, and I don't play tier 10 at the times when like there are a lot of people online. Oh, this is a really close game actually, as you can see right now. Um, like 30 seconds, they maybe should have started capping previously. If the super Hellcat now actually shoots any one of them and just hits them or tracks them, we're gonna draw this game. Except if we are able to shoot the super Hellcat. But I think with the T25-2, I think we just won the game. Yeah, super Hellcat is not coming in. Yeah, we'll have to see how the game develops certainly in the near future, but I think that bigger maps or more maps, like a bigger variety, and maybe like a better rotation system would really help the flow of the game, the dynamic of World of Tanks, because it kind of feels like it's a bit too, you get too many maps that are like always in the same rotation. But that's just my opinion. I'm not really sure if everyone thinks that the rotation is not there, but I think the rotation is a bit lacking. I do find myself on a lot more maps than, or the same maps that I've already played a couple of times, than on like other maps that I haven't played in a long time. Let me just real fast get some Czechoslovakian um, national fragments, because they're going to be getting heavy tanks soon, and that's going to be quite an interesting journey. The heavy tanks of the Czechoslovakians. Not really sure how they are going to be making it. Everything is going to be probably fake. I don't think that anything is going to be real there. But okay, we're on level 27 of the battle pass, so it took us quite a bit. And I think we can play the T34 dash, what was it? Dash 2? Yeah, 2GF. 2GFT. We can play it one more time because I like this tank and I need to get the Chinese tier 8 tank destroyer. This tier 7 tank destroyer is actually not too bad. even against tier 8 vehicles, it can still be quite powerful. Yeah, bigger maps would definitely increase the dynamics of the battlefield. It would also be more interesting for like all the fast tanks, as you say, the light tanks and the medium tanks and the fast heavy tanks. But the problem is just, I think the big maps, like they need to find a balance where the super slow and super heavy tanks or tank destroyers are also able to be a part of the battle and not just be like, you know, the slow targets that never get to the main point, because that also will not work in the long term, and then it would just be a huge like fest where everyone is just running around in their fast medium or light tank. So yeah, they would really need to find a balance that works for both parties, because I've noticed in front lines, if you were in a super heavy tank, maybe in the city you were able to do quite a bit of damage, and I think the nice part about front lines was always that they actually did consider the map size and the different areas. But if we just think about it, the oh boy, I don't want to get spotted by that. Like there were certain areas where, like most of the time, you still benefited from being in a fast medium tank or maybe in a fast heavy tank. But at least they gave you the option, right? If you wanted to battle somewhere with a lot of cover, you could play that part and you could just go over there. But if you didn't want to have any part in that, you could just play light tanks or medium tanks and you know, be a part of the push or something. Oh, we're actually in a tier 9 matchup. I didn't even notice that. I thought it was a tier 8 game. Okay, there are only like 3 tier 9 vehicles. Just fuck, there was a standard B over there. Like, what? Which nation has a standard B or tier 8? It just didn't make any sense at all. But yeah. Okay, so this is going to be a bit more difficult now that I've just realized that we're going up against tier 9 vehicles. It's been a while since I played tier 7 tanks. But this tank is actually not too bad. It's a tank that I've enjoyed quite a bit now in the recent time. I've played maybe about 10-15 games in it now. Because I thought, you know what, I don't have any more tech tree tanks to unlock except for artillery. I'm not going to be playing artillery by my free will. And so I decided to actually start playing the Chinese tank destroyers, because why not? If they're already part of the game, we can do that. And the tier 7 so far, and tier 6 also. The tier 6 wasn't bad. Tier 6 was actually quite a lot of fun. And the tier 7 is probably also quite a lot of fun. Or no, I mean the tier 7 is obviously a lot of fun. I've played it, I'm playing it right now, but the tier the tier 7 is a lot of fun. Tier 6 is also a lot of fun. I'm hoping that tier 8 is going to be a lot of fun as well, but that's going to be a complete different type of tank destroyer, the tier 8 version. I think it's going to be playing more like the ISU 152. We're just spotting this object 777 right now, but I think our position here doesn't have a lot of future left. We lost like 3 tanks over there, we lost another 2 tanks in the middle. So the majority of our tier 7 vehicles have been knocked out. And we'll have to deal with whatever is coming from that part of the map. I'm not really a big fan of tank destroyers, to be fair. I'm not a big fan of constantly, you know, sitting at the back. But with this tank, if it is another map, I think you'll be able to be more more flexible. Wow, that really hurt. But right now, right here, we don't have like the most options. Oh no. Yeah, you can see as soon as a tank shows up, everyone is just going to be right there, and I think it's quite, like, I mean, what is this? This SU-152 is going to die because he took my spot and he just died for me. And now I'm incapable of using this position. That really sucks. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to be able to hit that SU-130 PM once it shows up again. Oh boy. And he obviously is firing heat because why not? Against a tier 7 Chinese tank destroyer. It's not going to help you since you don't have any armor. I'm still alive somehow. This is a really close match as well. Like, this is quite interesting so far. Because of this SU-152, because of the position he died in, like, this position right here is a bit awkward to use. But we can still maybe... Nope. Like, okay, we have a Burask coming in. We have a Rheinmetall Borsig. Our bad chat here is trying to get some distance and a little bit of cover. We still have the WZ, and I'm just gonna ping for my team that they should be careful of whatever is down there so that they don't forget about the Burask. They actually do spot him right there. I'm going to be loading a heat shell just in case that the 703 is right down here, hiding below me. If you look at the way that our team is set up, it's really weird. With a little bit in their cap, we have one tank like all the way over there in pushing through the cap, the Concept 1B. And I don't know what their HP is currently. I don't know what... Okay, the Concept 1B just killed the Borsig. That thing is probably also quite powerful at the moment. I think reward tanks that come into the game, especially at tier 9, I think a lot of people have a bit of a problem with facing those kinds of tanks. But we need to support them right now, so I'm going to use my mobility. I know I only have 43 HP, but I need to be able to move in over there. Our liver was just killed, unfortunately. Ah, sorry, I didn't read the chat. Yes, disadvantages to the EBRs. How about these EBRs are not able to eat every single shell into their, or with their wheels. These EBRs need to be, they need to be balanced out a bit because they're like, it's ridiculous how survivable you can be with a light tank that is like a wheeled vehicle. And I think it just, oh no. Okay, I need to, I need to keep that in mind. There's the Burask. Oh, he's angry. I need to stick close to the WZ-111GF. That Burask is probably going to be coming back for us. So I'm going to be loading AP shell because of the shell velocity. That does make a bit of a difference. Yeah. Okay, there's the Burask. He knows that he has been spotted. I didn't want to fire right there because, I mean, obviously I'm gonna go light up like a Christmas tree. Let's see, what's my pen on my high explosive shell? You know what? I'm gonna be loading a high explosive shell just to fuck with this Burask. Because I think that this Burask could be potentially the match winner. And yes, he just killed me. I wasn't spotted though. So he still remembered the position I was in. But I think he's not going to be able to win it because this Concept 1B has already a star. So this guy must have been playing, he must have been playing this tank for a bit now. Was just released a couple of days ago, and it's, I think it's crazy good. Because I've seen 2 guys play this tank so far, like in 2 games. This is the second game, and the other game was also in the stream. and they were able to, like, the other one got like 4k damage really quickly and like really easily. Didn't even lose that much HP, like maybe 500-600, and this guy, I mean, he's still at 1,000, so he lost about the same amount of HP. And I mean, he doesn't have a turret, right? So how can you be effective against this tank? That's probably a 120mm gun as well. Same gun that the E5 uses. Maybe the concept B is a bit too aggressive though. That, like, he could easily go down into the dip and go behind the T28 HCC. Is the HCC going to be able to pen him? Yes, he is. But I think the HCC is going to be history in just a second. Because the concept 1B is just going to roll down here. He's going to have the gun depression all the time in the world. Look at that. It looks like 14 degrees of gun depression almost. At least it feels like it has 14 degrees of gun depression. There's like a weird driver's hatch right there, like where the driver can actually look out from. It's actually a hatch on top, yes. And now they're like against one Buask. And if they just cap it, he's going to be coming out. But it looks like the concept 1B already has his top gun, so he's not going to be too interested in chasing that guy. I think probably if the Buask does come back in, yeah, he's gonna pick up the kill, but he doesn't really care. He just wants to win this game and finish it. Not too bad, not too shabby. So 6 kills and 1 kill for the WZ. We didn't really do a lot in this game, only 691, but it was a tier. Yeah, I mean, it is a tier 9 matchup, so you don't really expect a lot from the tier 7s. But still, it would have been cool if we were able to do more damage, especially to the Burask. Shouldn't have switched the position, should have stayed right there, because he would have not been able to see me right there. Oh, he's been spotted. So he's behind him somewhere. He bounced the turret. The first shot was a fluke. Second shot bounced the turret. And we won the game. Oh, god damn it. I'm gonna get those 3 XP. 3 times experience. I'm gonna pick that up. But yeah. 10 games. We played 10 games and we won about 50% of them. Pretty bad. Yeah, we suck. That wasn't as good as I imagined, but I mean, it is the way it is. But yeah, I think I'm gonna cut it right there. It's been fun. I think I've been streaming for about almost 2 hours now. Yeah, about an hour and 50 minutes. Hope you guys did enjoy as well. I'm going to be live streaming. Like, I'm gonna see if I can live stream on, like, once every 2 weeks or maybe once every 1.5 week. It's going to be depending, or it's going to be depend on how much workload I have. But it's been fun. I hope you guys did enjoy as well, and I see you guys next time. And obviously the videos are still coming in. Until then,